Hello, let's try this again. I'm going to do another reading on John Doe out of Long Beach, 1978. Now, there is another John Doe out of Long Beach, 1979. Interestingly enough, I think that both young men have similar kind of coloring, and I'm tending to think that I feel that whoever killed one probably killed the other. So that's my feeling. So let's just take a look and see what we get. This time I am going to use I found my other favorite deck. I have to get my room sorted out here. It's such a state with this remodeling, getting caught in the middle of a pandemic. Oh, what a nightmare. Okay, anyway, on to the reading. I'm going to use the Gothmancy deck. This is a little bit more spendy, but it's a favorite. So if you're a deck collector, you might like this one. Anyway, I sure do, and this is the one I'm going to be using. Divination and Darkness, it says, so it's kind of got an edge to it. And again, when you get this deck, if you decide to, again, this is the one I chose with a pink, almost looks like to me like a violet foil or purple foil. Oh my god, I can't talk. How embarrassing. But again, I shouldn't have had this open that way. But it should be open really from the bottom. Okay? But I still have the seal on it. It's a collector deck. Okay. So let's use this. Now, John Doe, 1978, out of Long Beach. See if I can focus on him. He looked to be apparently anywhere from 16 to 19. He was about 5'11", slender, and he had brown hair, I think hazel, possibly hazel eyes. When he was found, he hadn't been long deceased. He had been found in Long Beach, California, at an intersection, like someone had just dumped him out of the car into the street. And initially they thought he was an overdose, but the coroner found that he had been strangled. He was found at the intersection of, what was the name of that? I think I can remember it from yesterday. Division and Corona in Long Beach. So let's just take a look and ask Spirit, the Creator, the Most High, to let us know what we need to know about Long Beach, John Doe. Now, according to his appearance, it didn't look like he had been on the streets very long if he was a runaway. He looked to be still in, fairly well-kept condition. So they're not sure why nobody ever came forward for him. My sense of it with the cards so far has been that this person thought he had just run away. But let's just see what we get with the cards today, because, got to keep an open mind. So Long Beach, John Doe, 1978, out of California. And he was left at an intersection. All right, let's see what we get. Okay, we get the Fool covering him. Now, I have felt I have felt that he was on the younger side, and that he was taking a big risk. And I feel like he felt like he had wanted more freedom from wherever he was staying or growing up. And kind of getting that feeling again. So he was definitely on a new adventure, but he didn't realize the danger he was in. And I got this too, that he was rather naive and young. And wanting to get out, I think, into the adult world. I got this card also for him earlier. The Eight of Swords. This is abduction. In this case, it's definitely. The basis of his reading is the Emperor. And they're using Johnny Cash as the Emperor, which is awesome. But this is talking about, and I got this earlier as well, a man that would have been old enough to have been his father. A man that was older, probably 40s, 50s, possibly older, but I think somebody strong enough, if they were older, to be able to attack these individuals that they were, these young men that they were hunting. Because that's really what it amounts to. So it's showing me the message that he was younger, he was naive, and out on an adventure that was dangerous, and he didn't realize the danger he was in. He got abducted. Older man here is the basis of the reading. Possibly a King of Cups, someone who likes to drink, party. It could also be describing the young man, but we'll see here. Let me just adjust my camera. Let's see here. Back up. Sorry for any unpleasant noise that makes. Okay, I just want to make sure you can see the screen. Okay. Oh, I got a kitty that wants in. To let her in a minute. Page of Swords. And the World. That's the end card. I kind of feel that this was the young man's kind of state of mind with the Page of Swords. Let me change that. Now that I'm looking, sometimes how it is with the cards, when you look at a couple of them and it just comes up and hits you. That's what this did. This was him, actually, the predator here on the prowl, looking for someone to abduct. He finds this young man. And I think they could have been at a bar, definitely. He could have taken him to a bar, showing him a good time, getting him a little tipsy there, maybe even. I do think that there was some kind of maybe a drink or two involved here, then, because I do get that, and I get that he could have slipped him something as well. But it looks like, to me, he picked him, and I think he started encouraging him, I think, to drink and party it up because he wanted him vulnerable. Definitely a strong sense from this older male that he went out and predicated upon, obviously, this young man. It totally shows it. And it makes me feel like definitely serial killer energy. I'm thinking more than likely that Randy Kraft is probably, or someone like him, because they believe that he's connected, in all likelihood, to this young man's death. And another young man, another John Doe out of Long Beach, that followed a year later, as I was saying. I think they're both, but connected to probably Randy Kraft. Definitely serial killer. Definitely someone on the prowl looking for someone vulnerable, and they found him. I'm getting, every time I have read, now I've noticed this, so I want to bring it up. Every time I have read on John Doe, 1978, out of Long Beach, I get cups. The cups, King of Cups, Knight of Cups, to represent him. So I'm thinking this is him. Even though, and I think he was, I mean, he could have been close to becoming an adult, like he could have been like up to the age of 19, but I still think he was a little bit young yet. Most of the cards that I get for him, like the Fool, kind of show a little bit of a naivete or a youthfulness with like the Knight. You know, I don't usually get the King, the adult, but it could also be indicating that giving this adult symbol to, because it is above also, the Emperor, it could also talk about him. So the cups could represent, actually suit both the predator and the victim. Let's just carry on, shall we? Now this is the point of view from, it would be, I'm looking at John Doe. So I'm trying to look from his perspective. And that's why I have him being taken here. Bless his heart. Now here we have the Hermit, and they're using, this is such a cool deck, they're using Edgar Allan Poe. And he has the Hermit's lantern and the Staff of Wisdom. And this makes me feel that this young man was out on his own. It could also indicate the killer is on his own and travels around. I definitely think that was, likely. I don't feel like there was more than one person involved in this. I feel like there was just the unfortunate victim, this someone's beautiful son, and unfortunately someone's loved one also doing something horrible to someone else. This represents to me, I kind of get the feeling twofold. I get the feeling that the young man was out on his own and was on truly alone. And I did get that. I get a feeling he could have been a runaway. And I got that feeling from the reading before. I got a feeling that I got a queen. I think it was a wands. And I'm not sure who she was. I don't feel like it was an energy that he took on or somebody else. I feel like it was an actual person that he had been living with, or staying with. And what I was shown was cards of feeling like frustration and like, I want to go out and do things, and this person's just too protective. And I really feel from that reading and this reading, maybe it's a good thing I did the second one. I think it always is. But I get a feeling that this was a mother or an auntie or someone like that, maybe even possibly a grandma. But I feel like this woman wanted to protect him, and she was very warm with her the wands, and I feel like she was kindly, and I was shown that I feel like he felt too confined by the rules that somebody else was giving him, and I think he ran away, and I don't think he had been out on the street long, and he was unfortunately targeted by another lone person, an older male. Gotten that. I'm taking it to the bank, folks, that whoever killed this young man, was older, old enough to be his dad. Shame on them. Now, in the environment, we have the King of Swords. I'm a tough guy on this card. It says ready to bleed. And he's got a knife there. He's holding the apple. So this is a man in the environment. Again, I'm not quite sure who he is. Let's just see. Could be authorities, because often the King of Swords is a card that I can get for police, detectives, PIs, that kind of thing. But it may also be indicative of somebody that was around, or who may have seen something even. Let's just see. Unless they're indicating it as but it's in the environment. King of Swords. We have the Page of Swords here looking around. This definitely has the feeling of somebody that is definitely, when I take now and I feel these two cards with this energy, it's going into the predator feeling of, again, scoping out, looking for victims. Very unpleasant. These two. Both of the swords. And connected to that Eight of Swords, too, it makes me feel like I'm looking here to kidnap. Okay, I'm just getting more. I feel that this King of Swords in the environment might be speaking to the individual committing these crimes had a strategy. A real strategy. And I'm thinking that he really enjoyed that part of it. It's kind of, he felt it was like a game. Ugh. Now, in the hopes and fears is the Ten of Cups. And This is that feeling of people that are like your friends, your family, greater connections overall. And I'm wondering if the person responsible for this, I don't know whether it was Randy, to be honest, or not Randy Croft, but whoever it was, I feel that they were they didn't want their family or others to know that they did this kind of thing. There's definitely something here about perception and wanting to appear like a regular person is what I just got, like just like everyone else, and happy or well, what's that word? Well adjusted. But that's not the truth. Clearly. I mean, look at this. Yikes. The Ten of Cups could also be that they took a great deal of satisfaction in the number of people that they came in contact with. Let's put it that way. Oh, I was just thinking, yes, again, I need to look at that not just from the point of view of the killer, but the point of view of the young man. I believe he definitely wanted to party. I think he liked partying. And I did get that before as well. I got a lot of cups, and he did have the stamp on his hand that indicated he had been in some kind of club or bar because it said paid. So probably some kind of cover fee. And I feel like, I don't feel like he paid that. I get the feeling like somebody could have picked him up and took him out and thought he was going to be having a good time, and he had no idea that the whole time in the back of this person's mind, this is their victim, and they're enjoying this whole weird thing. That is what I get. Queen of Wands. She came up last time in the reading I did for him. So I believe this is of an adult woman who was significant and may yet still be alive. I feel like this could be an older sister even. I don't know. But she keeps returning again and again in connection to this John Doe. And I think she's family. And like I said, could be an older sister, could have been, mother, auntie. But I feel that she still doesn't have the awareness of what happened to this young man. I feel like she has not been able to recognize the pictures that are up of him. It's just not clicking. So she's popping back up. I think she's still looking for him and wondering what happened to him. Let's see. Excuse me. Seven of Pentacles. and the Six of Swords. Moving on. Getting on with one's life, having to make changes. This shows somebody had to make a lot of changes in their life. They were going through a difficult time, and definitely also a sense of moving. I'm feeling like this is talking perhaps about the Queen of Wands in this reading. My feeling is she's saying I had to get on with my life. I couldn't find this person, whoever he was to her, and I think she really cared, and I think she's still looking, but I think she may have moved, or she may have thought that this person left. This young man left and got on with his life. It might be that as well. That she was thinking that he didn't like her rules or whatever, and wanted to go make up his own life and left. But this card is usually indicative of somebody that's transitioning into a better, calmer period of their life. So I just feel like this woman, after this young man disappeared, tried to focus on finding him and trying to had to make changes in her life. And she might just be, I would say that it took her a bit of time for real to move on. And I don't feel like she's responsible or anything like that. I feel like she was somebody that meant something to him. And he was staying with her. And again, I don't know if it's family. It seems like it. 8 of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, definite movement here with that 6 of Swords, 8 of Wands, and Wheel of Fortune. And it's quickening. There's a shift. There is a change coming up. Now, in the prior reading I did on him, I did pull cards that made me feel that down the road, so to speak, in time, that this young man will be identified. I think through possibly the old DNA ancestry, paralabs, something like that. Parabon, maybe that's what it's called. The Devil. So this shows to me most definitely the situation he was in, and temptation. Let's pull another one. And that 5 of Cups, yeah. So again with the Cups, and again with feeling like the bar, that makes sense with the tag that the stamp he had. Now, I don't know if this is also speaking about this woman, if she at that time may have been going through a hard time potentially with substance herself. Because it feels, I believe it's possible that this woman who keeps showing up in this young man's reading may end up coming forward, or in other words, we might end up figuring out who she is, because I think he might get ID'd. And this might be sorrow over learning about what happened, that he was the victim of a horrible murder. And this is sorrow, this is loss, this is often grieving. Usually using a less than healthy way to cope. But sometimes it's just depression. But often with cups, people can tend to want to try to blunt that kind of pain. It's very challenging. The Three of Cups. Again, we're getting that party scene. I'm feeling like there had to have been people that saw that young man who stamped his hand, but they've just not recognized and put it together. I mean, that's been so many years ago. It's some of these people could well be past that saw or would have been able to recognize and say, yeah, saw him in there with this guy, or that guy, a magician. So I'm feeling that it's the card of communication, but also manipulation. And with that Three of Cups, I'm really getting a feeling like the cards are indicating the person who did this to him was using bars, the social scene, I think, to pick his victims out of, manipulate them. There's a feeling he liked the whole cat and mouse aspect of doing this to people, of befriending them, chatting them up. It feels like, very social in a social setting, and then taking advantage of their trust. The Ten of Swords and the Page of Wands. So that Page of Wands is action. And I feel that it could be that in closing his story out, this could be that he will be identified. Because this is the end of that cycle, of a very difficult, harrowing cycle with that Ten of Swords. And the Page of Wands makes me feel like the final chapter is coming about, and that just maybe his case will be concluded by identifying him. And I think, in all likelihood, the person responsible. Here is the Hanged Man. Okay. And the Two of Cups. So it's talking about needing to look at something differently here. And over time, perhaps, with this case not being resolved and it being kind of just stuck in this position. But I feel that the benefit, because there's usually a benefit that comes with the Hanged Man's delay, and that is usually that you will know more, you'll be better, you'll have more awareness or more information, or this kind of thing. And in this case, I think it definitely could go that way, again, with a sense of maybe DNA, with technology now being able to solve that crime or figure out who he was, potentially, with, and I'm getting that here. This could be a member of his family. I just feel like he could get identified. Queen of Cups and a Six of Wands. Yeah, I believe so. Six of Wands is victory. It is success. And I'm just getting from him that they're going to figure out who he is and what happened. And I believe I'm being shown a woman here, a Queen of Cups. I believe it's somebody I believe works possibly with DNA, or that will head that. A woman that will get those results. Four of Pentacles and the Three of Wands. Yeah, I think they will be able to figure out whose family he belongs to. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stop there. And, well, I think no, I don't need to stop. I want to look more at his personality. So that's telling us, this reading told us more about, yes, he was abducted, and he will be ID'd, is my feeling, further into the future yet. And that Queen of Wands is significant. I believe it is someone that he was staying with or living with at the time, and may have left their home. And that person's been looking for him. So let's just see if we can get any sense of what cards, universe, creator, what can you tell us about this John Doe, Long Beach, 1978, his personality. Tell us more about him personally. So let's see if we can find out more about John Doe out of Long Beach, 1978, his personality. Okay, let's see what we get. get the Emperor covering him. Fatherly figure. And again, the Emperor showed up for his killer. But I really get the word daddy issues, father issues. He's saying, I'm getting the sense of, I like older men. So I feel that he may have been definitely part of the LGBTQIA community. And that older man is like right there, covering him. Oh, look at that. 10 of Wands. He felt really oppressed. I think he had and felt overwhelmed with that 10 of Wands. That is a real overburden of, let's see, responsibility. Now, that is the challenge for him. That is what is crossing him. And it's very heavy. So he's indicating there's a heaviness in connection to his father, a feeling of being overwhelmed in connection. The Star. He wanted attention. He wanted attention from older men. He wanted attention, I think, from his own father. Whoever this young man was. Come on. Well, not going to focus. So we're seeing here a young man who I believe is part of the LGBTQIA community, who has father issues, and when they think of their father, there's an overwhelming sense of stress and heaviness. Now, I don't know if the father rejected them or, you know, what? Ace of Cups crowning this young man. Gary Newman from the Cars is on that. And if you, not the Cars, he did the song In Cars. Don't know what I'm thinking here. I'm glad I caught myself. Okay. Yeah. So definitely emotionally invested, where I think older men are concerned. I get the sense of there's the flirtation, there's the openness, there's the attention that he wants. And so I think this older gentleman, I shouldn't say gentleman, killer, I think sussed that out pretty quickly. And this was a victim that was pretty much ideal in that respect. There could have been also for this young man he could have left home because maybe his father didn't approve, if he was in the picture, it definitely indicates that there's an issue with father figures. There's something there, and where that feels very oppressive and heavy, where I feel like this young man just wanted attention and to be more light and more carefree, and there's this boom, heaviness on him with a father figure. And of course, this could be also talking about his killer, because he also got the emperor for that. And I just want to be clear, I'm not saying that I think this young man's father's killed him. I don't. I think a man that was old enough to be his father did. We have the Queen of Swords in the recent, more in the past for him, this young man. So what I'm feeling here is, with this overwhelming, oppressive, heavy energy connected to father figure, this is, again, we're looking at Magician, about communication and taking action. I believe he may have told, or this could even be, I get possibly also of him writing or journaling. I'm not quite sure, but a feeling of him relating either to someone about how heavy he felt, the issue, I think, with masculinity, father figure, what this person wanted from them, who he was. I feel like this young man just wanted the attention of a father figure, and to be found interesting, I'm getting, and he wanted that attention so much. We see that, and a closeness he wanted, but he was also tricked. Two of Pentacles in his life. It's talking about extremes. I also feel like he may have gone back and forth. I don't know, between people that he was living with. There's some sense of that moving around a little bit. But there's also wanting to offset this very heavy energy, wanting to offload it and have a lighter, happier life where he felt like he was getting attention and interest. We get the King of Swords at the end of the day, after all that shuffling yet again, in his environment. This could have been his dad. That's what's just occurring to me. This could be the father figure that he felt so, it looks like in this reading, had very heavy issues in connection to. And I'm wondering if he may have left because he wasn't being accepted by a father figure. He was wanting clarity. And I also feel like to get out on his own, I'm feeling like just there's also a sense of wanting to create separation. I don't know if he was, what was going on there, but I feel that he was having a hard time and was wanting the attention of older male, and he just didn't realize he was being played. It's so sad. Final end result card is the Hierophant. Now, that's a 5 in the major arcana. So it's a little challenging because he's telling me, I think this young man was gay, and I think he had a lot of pressure on him to be more traditional, I don't, in short, think he was accepted by someone at home. Possibly, the father figure. And I think the Queen of Wands could be the mother or someone else in the family that cared and was looking for him. I definitely get that feeling. I feel like he's telling me here that he tried to communicate, I think, with his family. He just really wanted attention from a father figure, some acceptance, and not to be made to feel like he was a burden. Or to feel the heaviness that he felt in connection to a father figure. Okay, let's see what other cards we get. 3 of Swords. Yeah. And the 4 of Pentacles. There is definitely somebody way more conservative than him. Was not good with this. Could have disowned him with that 3 of Swords. It's a broken heart. And there is this again. And the Hierophant is also tradition. It's like you stay with that, within the color within the lines kind of thing. It's inflexibility. So I'm feeling that somebody in his life, not surprisingly enough, probably his own father, possibly his mother too, but I'm thinking maybe more with the father figure, of not accepting who he was. I think that hurt very much, because I feel like this young man initially tried to be the person that they felt would be accepted by society and family members. But I don't think they could, because it wasn't who they were. And I think, unfortunately, this young man ran away and crossed paths with someone that was looking for a vulnerable person like himself. 6 of Cups. So this young man is talking about his past. And 7 of Wands. that he had to defend himself, is in a position of defense. Vincent Price. Ace of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. That is past. And then there's no focus. So, oh, this, okay. I